Hello, everyone. It's Bill Parsons from Parsons Communications Group, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about goal setting and how important goals are to achieving the kind of life that we want. Everyone wants a better quality of life, but what we don't realize many times is that we spend a lot more time putting a party together or planning a grocery list than we do planning our lives. It's impossible to know whether we're happy or achieve the kind of things we want to achieve if we don't even know what it is we want. So setting goals is sort of like setting the sail. It's putting the sail up on your boat and tacking a course for the direction you want to go. Because a lot of times in life, people are unhappy with where they are, but they don't know why they're unhappy. And the reason they're unhappy is they don't know what it is they actually want. They've never sat down and actually distilled down the actual goals that they want. They've got to decide what it is they want out of life and then how they're going to get it. So what I want to share with you today is not only how important goal setting is for living an extraordinary life, but how to actually set goals. And it's really not that complicated. Just imagine planning a party or making a grocery list out, the steps that you go through to decide what it is you need and what the kind of an outcome it is you're trying to get. So this is all based ultimately in your power of choice. You've got to choose certain things that you want and then kind of set up a plan to get there. We actually have a guide on our website called the Bullseye Goal Setting Guide that you can download for free, and it takes you through each one of these steps. But I'm going to walk you briefly through these steps today. First of all, you got to decide what you want. That's the goal. Our brain is unique in the fact that our conscious mind decides what we want, and our subconscious mind decides how we're going to get it. It activates a part of our brain called the reticular activating system, or the RAS. The RAS is like a servo mechanism, it's like a rocket on a guided course. Even though it sometimes gets off course, ultimately it will home in on its ultimate destination, which is the goal you've set for yourself. So we got to decide what we want. That's the first step in the goal setting process. What is we want? And we have to be very specific about that. What do we want specifically for our lives? In our relationships, monetarily, education-wise, what do we want to do to give back? What kind of adventure goals do we want to set for ourselves? So sit down and map out the different areas of your life, your relationships, your contribution goals, your educational goals, your career goals, and find out what it is you want and be very specific. Don't set a goal that says, I just want to be rich or I want to be a millionaire. Set goals that are specific. And then the next thing we want to do is identify why we want those goals. The why of goal setting is much more important than the what. Why it is you want this goal, and be brutally honest with yourself. Don't come up with a bunch of platitudes or bromides to kind of glaze over this. Why do you want this kind of wealth? What it is you're going to do with it? Why is this the kind of relationship you're seeking? So you've got to really dig deep what it is you want and then why you want it. The next step is you've got to timeline those goals. Is this a 1-year goal, a 2-year goal, a 5-year goal? Is it a 15-year goal? So we're separating goals from glimmers at this point. The ones that are sort of way out there doesn't mean we're not working on them. And some of the goals that are shorter term may be leading us towards those longer term goals. But so set the goals, be very specific, and make them big. It takes just as much energy to dream big as it does to dream small. So set giant goals for yourself. So we've timelined the goals. We know why we want the goals. We know what the goal is. The next thing we do is we set action steps, a blueprint. What do we have to do to get to this goal? One of my favorite ways to do this is to work in reverse order. Let's imagine that I want to buy a Porsche as my car. The Porsche is the ultimate end goal. What's the next step to buying the Porsche? Signing the contract. What's before that? Making sure I have the money to buy the Porsche. What's before that? I've actually got to walk into a Porsche showroom and actually drive a Porsche and talk to a salesman. Maybe before that I do some online research and find out what a Porsche new or used will cost. So I take it in that order. What we're trying to do is identify the individual action steps towards the goal, and then we're trying to decide what 20% of those action steps are going to get us 80% of the results. So we don't want to waste time on a bunch of minutia. Find out which steps are going to be most important, the 20% that gets us 80% of the results, and then we move on those steps. The other thing is, once we've decided what the goal is, we know what the next step is, take massive action towards that goal right now. Not in the future, now. Do not leave this spot until you've taken an action step, whatever that might be. What kind of results did you get? Notice the feedback that you have gotten and how you feel about it. What kind of internal and external feedback did you get as a result of the results that you got? How do you feel internally? Are you comfortable with the results you have? Maybe as a result of this outcome that you got, you've decided this isn't a goal for you anymore. This isn't something you want to do. And that's okay. You have now taken that goal and moved it to a glimmer. Or maybe it's totally off the page. You thought this is something you wanted, but as you started to progress towards it, you were uncomfortable with it either internally or externally as a result of the feedback that you were getting. So you decided this isn't a goal. Maybe you said, okay, this is a goal. So I noticed the feedback loop that I got, the results that I got from the action that I took, and now I have enough flexibility to try again, tweak my action steps, do something a little different that's taking me even closer to my goal. It's almost like throwing darts at a board. When you throw darts, you don't hit the bullseye every time, but we get close. And each time we go back, we pull the dart off of the board, we recalibrate our throw, a little more precision, a little more effort, and we try to nail that center point every time. Well, we're not going to do it every time, but the more precision we have, the more specific our goal is, the more we have fleshed out our action steps, the more we identify what the potential obstacles could be, who are resources that are available to us, why we want this goal. I even go as far as naming my goals. I give them names like Operation whatever, Operation Financial Freedom. All right, so give it a mission. Make it like it's a military operation and plan it out that specifically. This is just an example of how specific my goal list can be and each step along the way that takes me towards that goal. So each person has to set their goals for themselves. Know why you want it. Take the massive action. Notice the results. Be flexible enough to change up what you're doing. Retry again. And then the last part is most important. You've got to be persistent. Just because you failed today or it didn't work out the way you wanted it doesn't mean it's not something you can achieve. I believe that if one person can do it, anybody can do it. There is no failure in life. There is only results. There's outcome. Look at the outcome you got, the results you got, learn from the mistakes that you have made, learn from the feedback that you got, and have enough flexibility to retry again, utilizing new skills, new abilities, new tools, new talents, new partners. Whatever it is you need, go out and get them. Ask for the assistance that you need. But put this all in play. And if you take massive action towards the goals that you have set for yourself, you will see results. But see, most people, they're dilettantes. They play at goal setting. They set some goals. They call, really at the end of the day, January 1st rolls around. We set a couple New Year's resolutions. They're not really goals. They're wishes, they're dreams, they're everything but something concrete like a goal. A goal is concrete. You can feel the passion, the energy. It gets you up in the morning and keeps you up at night. It drives you towards what it is you want. But there are these steps that will assist you to get there. And just to recap, set the goal. What is it? Be very specific. Why do I want it? Once you've done that, create a blueprint, the individual steps that are going to get you where you want to go. Once you start taking that massive action, and remember, action is magic. Action is what makes things happen. You've got to take action. You've got to take the necessary steps because if you don't, you're not going anywhere. Then notice the results you have gotten and have enough behavioral flexibility to change what you're doing, tweak it a little bit, go ask for the right partners, find out what the obstacle was, figure a way around it, over it or through it, and then take the next step and always persist on your goals. Henry David Thoreau said that most men lead lives of quiet desperation and go to the grave with a song still in them. I truly believe that most people who have the ability to do amazing things sit back and allow life to pass them by. Setting goals is the way to get what you want out of life. Remember, if you'd like to get our goal setting guide, go to www.parsonscommunicationgroup.com. Go to the website, download this goal guide for free, and you can get started on setting your goals.